TribLIVE Radio presents Coach's Corner with Pirates coaches Ray Searage and Rick Sofield throughout the season with Ken Laird and Guy Junker of TribLIVE Radio. We take you inside the Bucs bullpen and dugout with the Coach's Corner right now on TribLIVE Radio.
Well, we're on location at Steelers training camp in Latrobe today, Ken Laird and Guy Junker, but let's talk some Pirates out of the gate, guys, and Tim Benz is with us. Tim, your first chance to talk with Pirates pitching coach Ray Searage in his semi-monthly visit with us.
Well, first chance in this format on the air.
Right.
I, a long time ago, dubbed him the biggest reason for the turnaround of the Pittsburgh Pirates the last 3 years, so he's well aware of that.
There you go. Ray Searage.
I'm sure it means more to him hearing it now again, though.
Does that mean more to you now, Ray?
There's a lot more people involved in this than me, and I'm just glad to be part of it.
Well, Jay Happ with his second straight strong start last night, Ray, what can you tell us about your new pitcher that you've brought in here and the work you've done with him and the work he's done here over the first couple weeks with the team?
It's a twofold type thing. Both our catchers, Chris Stewart and Francisco Cervelli, we had a game plan his last two starts. The first start that he had, it was just getting to know everybody and us getting to know him and him getting comfortable. And then the last two games we were able to find out what his strengths were, where he needs to pitch off of. He pitches off his fastball majority of the time. And then just making a minor adjustment here and there, watching him the first time and then watching him on two pens that he threw, that we just made a little change, and boy, he got some good angle, and it just added to the good stuff that he has out there on the mound. This is a guy that can be very competitive out there and has all the tools to get major league hitters out. Just how to get him on the right track.
Ray, you were humbly deflecting away my praise before, but what is it that you have been able to find and the rest of your staff has been able to find in the Volquezes, the Lirianos, Happ, any of these guys that have come down the pike in recent years that their own teams prior to coming to the Pirates weren't able to detect to get them right?
I think you got to build trust. Not that I'm saying other teams don't do that. It just seems like I've had my spikes in the dirt, and I know what it feels to be. I know what it feels like to be on the top of the mountain, and I know what it feels like to be that piece of gum on your shoe on a hot summer day that's sticky, and every time you walk, it just trails you. So I know the two different feelings of it, and I don't want my pitchers to feel the second one. So I try to develop trust. I be honest with them. There's no smoke and mirrors with me. And then it just comes, and then you look at the video and try to get them back to where they were when they were throwing the ball good. And you keep it simple. And we use the term KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Stupid being me, the coach. So this way I can help them out a lot. And but it takes some time. You got to develop that good foundation of trust with them.
Ray, the bar is so high on what Garrett Cole's been able to do that when he has he goes 3 or 4 games without a win, even if he's, I was very impressed the other night that he was able to tough that out when you needed some innings after a rough couple innings. But of course, on a show like this, there's all kind of discussion. People want to know: is there something wrong with him? Is he hurt? What's happened? What's your assessment of his, not Garrett Cole-like numbers since the All-Star break?
Yeah, he's going through the rigors of a full season. There's certain avenues that pop up during the season. He's experiencing some things, and he's going to get better through it. He's obviously missing a couple of pitches in a couple of innings in certain part of the games, and that's going to happen. He's human. He's not Superman. Everybody wants to put him on this big pedestal and say, here's our savior and all this, but this is a young kid who's going to have to learn, about the ups and downs, about the body not being 100%, about the mind not being 100%, about executing pitches, about learning how to pitch and when to reach back for that extra. And he's doing a great and tremendous job doing it, but, you have to keep things in perspective. This is a young kid who's learning how to become an ace in the major leagues. And he's got to make sure that he doesn't put too much pressure on himself, especially with the loss of AJ, and thinking that he's got to be super Cole. And, like the other starters also, they have to be themselves and pitch and keep themselves in that game that they've started. Not try to do more or try to become, keep the game, shut them out the whole time. Go and pitch your game, stay within yourself, keep the team in the game, and things will work themselves out.
Pirates pitching coach Ray Searage, our guest here on TribLIVE Radio. And Ray, when you mentioned the rigors that he's going through, is it beyond pitch counts that are a worry at this point as far as the season workload? Is he past being concerned about that?
It's always going to be a concern, especially with a young arm like that. We'll keep an eye on it and monitor it. We're in a stretch of 20 straight games right now, but I think this is a good testing ground for him to have to pitch, 3 times on 5 days rest and see how he comes out of it. But we're definitely aware of it. We'll keep an eye on it, and then we'll move on from there. And if we have to make an adjustment or insert, somebody a spot starter, we'll address that when the time comes.
Ray Searage, our guest, Pirate pitching coach. Hey, Ray, when it comes to Mark Melancon, he's been so automatic out of the bullpen this year. The last week to 10 days, he's allowed a few runs to leak in, although even in some of those games he's managed to get the save. Is he tiring at all, or are you still seeing the Mark Melancon that we have been seeing most of the season?
I would say, it's not tiring. It's just that he's not as sharp as he has been. There's peaks and valleys in the season. The way he goes about his business and the way he is disciplined and working. This is a time of the year that you might see a little valley in some guys, and you just got to make sure you hang in there with him. And I ask him how he feels every day, day in and day out. I ask them all how they feel day in and day out with the bullpen and also the starters. And, if we need to give somebody a day out of the pen, Clint is well aware of it, and he does a great job in trying to get these guys some time. And so this way we're strong for the next game and the next week and the next month. So the time that we save now and everything that Mark has been doing, it's if you look around, a lot of people go through little series of, I would say being on top of your game or the sharpest that you possibly can be. So, he's okay. He's good. I've got no worries with Mark.
Ray, do you have a working number of pitchers you'd like to have in September when the roster expands? Is it the more the merrier, or is there a limit where, you can't have too many guys because they'll be sitting around and not getting an opportunity?
Yeah, that's definitely the case. You want to make sure that you've got a good set number. We'll talk about this probably in the next couple of days about the possibilities of guys that are coming up and what are their value to us if we bring them up. Now, if you bring up too many guys, you don't have enough time or you don't have enough innings where 2 guys might be sitting down there and not even getting any kind of action whatsoever. Basically, we want guys that will be able to insert in and to give a blow to somebody else that has the ability to get major league hitters out. So you don't want to go too many, and you want to try to keep that number happy, or probably about, maybe 4 extra guys down there, possibly 5. But Neil and Clint, myself, we'll have a discussion on it and see who's available and who will be a viable candidate for us.
Ray Searage, our guest, Pirates pitching coach. Ray, when it comes to the philosophy that you have with Clint, when it comes to getting relief pitchers up in the bullpen in between innings when your starter is going well, can you speak to when you think that decision needs to be made in between innings? Like, for instance, it's been talked about a lot lately, the last couple outings for Locke, who's been good until, like, the 6th in St. Louis. Do you not want to have a starter get spooked by a guy pitching in the bullpen and being ready to come in, like, that way into your decision-making with Charlie in New York in the 7th, or even Liriano back at home the other night?
Yeah, we usually have that, like 1 or 2 innings before. Okay, what if this scenario happens? What about this? who would be our candidates, who would line up with this guy in their lineup, and or the two guys that would line up, in a certain scenario. That conversation is talked about, one or two areas, because usually in the starters we have numbers, like pitch 1 through 15 and the batting average there. And the numbers don't lie. Majority of the times, the batting average is around 76 to 90, or 90 to 105. The numbers are glaring, and that would be a hot spot. So then, we try to make sure that we keep them in the game, but we also got to make sure that we got that emergency valve. If things start to go the other way, we've got somebody ready to go and to pick them up.
Yeah, because, Ray, I would imagine, I've said this a couple times since you guys have bolstered your bullpen right around the trade deadline, that you would be inclined to go to that bullpen as often as possible because it is so good. But do you have to walk somewhat of a fine line when it comes to getting them warmed up and ready to go and burning some warm-up pitches even, let alone appearances in games?
Well, that's one thing that's really good about our bullpen. Our guys know how to warm up. The amount of pitches that they take to warm up is anywhere between 10 to 15, and they're good to go. And that's from years of experience that they've learned through, that they don't need 25 to 30 pitches down there to warm up. They know that they're going to get an extra 7 when they get into the game. And that's one thing that I'm really proud of these guys down there in the bullpen, is that they know how to warm up and they warm up efficiently. Yes, does it take a toll over a course of a week? Yes, it does, and we have numbers that keep track of ups, innings, for 7 days, and we watch the workload that way, and that's where Clint is really good at in making sure that these guys don't overthrow too much in like a 7-day period. If a guy is up like 6 out of 7 days, he might be in a game 3 times, but he might be up 3 times also. So we keep track of that also.
Last one from me, Ray. I know you were in the bullpen with AJ the other day, and he threw off the mound. Is it unrealistic for Pirate fans to expect to see him anywhere near his pre-All-Star game self again this year? And when might we see him in a game again?
AJ is I can't say anything about AJ that he will or won't do because he is quite a remarkable man. Right now, we want to get him healthy. I wish I had a crystal ball to answer that question of pre-All-Star break. I don't know. What we're trying to do is get him healthy, get him back into the rotation. But everything is going to take. We're taking things right now like on a 3-day segment. So we're going to work with him for 3 days, do the things, and then we'll move on to the next step for the next 3 days. We don't want to project him too far in advance because we have to make sure that the pens, the long toss, and everything, there's no reoccurrence of any kind of feeling whatsoever. He has responded tremendously so far, and today he's going to throw a pen, and we'll have a better feeling on where he's at and how he feels today out of the pen. It'll be a short one. It'll probably be about 20, 25 pitches. But this way, then we can move on and schedule him for the next 3 days and go from there. But with AJ, I couldn't even give you a shot at giving you something right now because who knows what this guy can do. And he wants to be a part of this team. He wants to be a part of everything that we're doing and getting to the postseason. So anything's possible with AJ.
Hey, Ray, last one before we let you go. We saw Jung Ho get a little upset at the bubblegum container the other night. Have you ever lost your cool? You seem so calm all the time. Back in your playing days, did you ever lose it?
Me? Yes, I have. But, I made sure I punched something with my right hand, not my left hand. But with Jung Ho, he just got frustrated. He hit a ball right on the screws, and he wanted to win the game right there. But Goldsmith made a heck of a play on him. Heck, but yeah, you know, you do lose it. Sometimes you need to vent, get that out, and then move on. You know, and with Jung Ho and myself too, you get those days, you get those times. Let it go, move on.